What is up, nesters, jesters, and Pacific Northwesters? Thanks for taking a seat at the table with me today. Today we're going to be playing through Cascadia, which is published by Flat Out Games and designed by Randy Flynn, and is an absolute tile-laying, nature-loving delight. This is a game that I played a decent amount back when it first came out back in 2021, and then it just sort of sat on my shelf, unloved for a long time. And it occurred to me that I don't just want to be the roll and write guy, even though I am sort of on a kick of those at the moment. So I thought, hey, why the heck not? Let's pull out a chill little tile laying experience and branch out, so to speak, before we corner ourselves in a niche. So Cascadia is a tile laying game, as I said. Sticking to its nature theme, Cascadia follows the universal rules of nature, which is to say, the more points, the more you win. As we've established in previous videos, this is a fundamental law of the universe, and I love that Cascadia kind of abides by that. Essentially, what we're going to be doing every turn is picking a pair of these tiles and tokens, these habitat tiles and these wildlife tokens. The rule is if you take a tile, you need to take the token that's right under it, and vice versa. If you're going to take a token, you got to take that tile. The thing that breaks that rule are these little pine cones. I've called these tokens leaves for so long that they're locked in my brain forever as leaves. And so now anytime I see pine cones, I just think, yes, pine cones. The leaves of the Northwest. Anyway, those let you break that rule by taking, separate pairs. But they're also worth a point at the end of the game, so you don't just want to spend them willy-nilly style, unless you have sort of a purpose for it. How do you get those tokens, though, is what you're asking me, and I'll tell you, just please don't interrupt me during the teach. I will address it right now, actually. See? If you just waited just a sec. This is a sidebar, and you're going to have to wait longer now while I sidebar, but I recently learned how to play Friedemann Friese's Fayum. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And in Fayum's rulebook, there's a wonderful convention where essentially Friedemann, who I hope is the person who wrote the rulebook himself, it feels like he did, just sort of berates a man named Ronald gently in a way to clarify rules. So like if a rule is, you must take this pair of tile and token, right under it in quotes, it would say, yes, Ronald, every time you must take a tile and the token under it unless you have a nature token. Anyway, so just what I'm saying is ultimately, hold on, Ronald. I'll explain it in a minute. And that minute is up. It was a short minute and it's right now. Jesus Christ. There are some tokens that look like this, and they have a little pine cone symbol right there, the leaf of the north. If you ever cover that up, you get a nature token. It's as simple as that. I really should have explained it way sooner, but I didn't, and that's just where we are with that. So every turn, you're going to be taking a pair, or not, if you spend the nature token, slotting it into your little growing habitat here, and then putting animal tokens on tiles that they are eligible to be put on. They don't have to be put on the tile that you take. They can be put on anywhere in your little tableau, as so long as you have a place where they can go. That's great, but I'm sure that you can't just place animals anywhere. There have to be rules to this thing. I'm sure Randy put some rules in this thing. And I gotta tell you, I'm pleased to report Randy absolutely put some rules into this thing. These animals are quite particular about how they like to be arrayed. For instance, hawks. They should have been wolves because they're lone wolves. You know what I mean? I'm realizing as I'm saying that wolves typically travel in packs. That's like their thing. So just ignore me. The hawk doesn't want to be adjacent to any other hawks. They're hermit. They're in their reclusive era. They're hermit-pilled. Sorry, I can't get through that without laughing. I started saying it just on a whim, and it broke me. And I've tried to get a clean take of it like 6 times now. It's just not happening. It's so stupid. Hawks don't want to be adjacent to other hawks. Elk want to be in a straight line. It doesn't have to be a horizontal line. Doesn't have to be a vertical line necessarily. Just if it's in a line, it's got to be in that line, and it must not deviate from that line. You ask me why elks are hanging out in a conga line. I'll tell you, Ronald, I don't know. And I don't know what nature sort of rule set that pertains to, but hit up Randy. Randy, if you're watching, I'm sure you are, explain yourself. That might be a little bit of a loaded way of saying that, but do it. Yeah, elks, straight line. Make it happen. Bears, and this is delightful, bears are the opposite of hawks. They like to be in pairs, but no more than that. They don't want to be next to another bear pair, because if you're next to a bear pair, if you're right there next to a bear pair, it might get a little awkward. It might get a little awkward there. You might wonder where to put the bear pairs. You might run out of room to put the bear pairs there. I'm going to stop. Bears like to be next to each other, but don't have multiple pairs of them close to each other. That's how you get points for them. Foxes are really the kind of anti-hawk. I've always been saying this, and I'm glad Randy's brought it to light. Foxes want to be surrounded by all of their friends, but not too many. Not too many of the same ones. Foxes are very particular. They love their friends, but they really have it sort of figured out. I don't need another funny one. I'm the funny one, okay? And we got Steve, who's also funny. And then we got the bear. He's big, and that's funny, but in a different way. And so I don't need multiple bears. Anyway, in short, the fox likes to be surrounded by different animals. It's a lot of work for not a lot of point gain. I hate the fox. Fox is dead to me. Friendship with foxes ended. Bears and elks are my new best friend. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of work for not a lot of point investment. All these have scaling points. So like 3 elks is 9 points, 4 elks is 13, but 5 different animal types surrounding a fox is 5 points. That's not enough points, Randy. There should be more points. I don't understand it. Rebalance it. Put out a patch. And then finally, salmon want to be in a run. And the way that a run works is that it's a line of adjacent salmon where no more than 2 of them are adjacent to each other. That's not true. I said that wrong. What I mean is no one salmon can be adjacent to 2 or more salmon, more than 2 salmon. Holy heck. Can you tell that I've had trouble with this rule in the past? The way that the salmon work is that if I have a salmon here, and I have a salmon here, and here, that's great. That's totally fine. This salmon, this particular one right here, is adjacent to 2. But if I dared put a salmon here or here, it would be adjacent to more than 2 salmon. And that just can't be. What that has to do with nature, what sort of quasi-geometric rituals the salmon are enacting to perhaps dethrone their bear murderers, I don't know. But Randy certainly has some sort of clue into it, so I trust him implicitly on that. And that's all the rules for animals and how they like to be arrayed. Past that, the only real other thing you're doing is trying to make kind of continuous runs of similar terrain types. Now, these all have names in the rulebook. I don't know what they are. Even if I did know, I wouldn't remember to call them that. So from here on, they're going to be called grass, forest, the cold place, and the desert, and the ocean. I'm sure one of those at least is right. So yeah, let's just start now, I think. Does that sound good? Cool. I think I'm pretty bear-pilled right now. I've got to stop. I like the bear pair strategy a lot. It feels pretty achievable. It doesn't feel like it requires a lot of finagling, and the points are scrumptious. You get 27 points if you get 4 bear pairs. And I love that. I think that's pretty fair to get that many bear pairs there. So I'm going to take this tile and this token. I'm going to slot this in right here to continue this sort of snow zone. Snow zone. That's what we're calling it. And I'm going to cover up this bear, which has a leaf of the northwest. I'm going to take one of those. In the solo mode, there's something that happens once you've taken a tile, which is that the furthest right tile gets sent off into oblivion to simulate an opponent, ruining all your carefully laid Cascadian plans. And that's okay. Keeps it moving, keeps it grooving. I got to tell you, it's 6 a.m. I'm in a weird mood, but I'm glad you're here with me. If you're watching this early in the morning, I hope it gets your day off to the good start. And if you're watching this at night trying to go to sleep, holy hell, I'm really sorry. This is a chaotic energy that is not particularly conducive to sleep. But, you know, I hope your day was good. And I hope that this gameplay makes it even better. All right. My last game, I sort of went hard on salmon, and it worked out for me. I scored quite well. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm tempted to spend a nature token to take this and this, and then I can place it on this and get back a nature token. But I think what I would rather do is just take this and preserve the nature token. That's a cool little nature thing I did there. Preserve, you know, you get it. And I'm just going to put it here, and we'll run it out this way and see where it goes. We're getting rid of a lot of elk early, which I don't like. Elk are also very easy to get a decent amount of points from. So, I don't know. Not sure how I feel about my strategy early on, but we're heading for it. Hawks, I feel like, are something that you need to really commit to early on if you're going to do it, because you need to have 8 of them to get the max points for them. And I feel like that's a lot of work. So I think I'm going to stay in my Grizzly era and just take Grizzly Gumps here. And then I'll slot the tile down here, I think. That seems all right. And then I'll put the bear there. And just like that, our first bear pair is accomplished. We'll move that tile out of the way, get 2 more up in here, and we'll keep on going. Okay. I think I'm going to take the elk for no other reason than I want to start elking. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this tile down this away, because I can continue that going that way, continues the desert and the ocean here. We're really nailing it. Elk goes there. Fox, get out of here, dude. I want Falco. He's the new meta. Maybe. I don't know. You ever want to like something? I'm sure that's a universal experience. I want to like fighting games. I don't. I mean, I like them in theory. I'm just very bad at them, and I want to be good at them, but I don't want to put any effort into getting good at them. And therein lies the problem. All right. I am going to do that little maneuver I was talking about earlier. I'm going to spend a nature token to take this elk and this tile and place it right here. And immediately get another nature token. Get another pine cone, another leaf of the Northwest. Okay, cool. Let's make sure I didn't cheat there. Part of me is wondering if I should try orienting the line of elk this way to maybe keep the grass going this way, but I don't really think it matters. I think I'm going to keep it like this so I can have more room to spread out. Snow zone, if I am so inclined. So when this happens, when it's sort of weird like this, because you've done a nature token thing, you just get rid of the furthest right as you would, then slide everything down like that. Super simple. I really, really enjoy how simple the solo mode is in this game, because I really enjoy solo games, but I really don't like when you have to faff around with a bunch of maintenance. It's funny how fine a line it is, as I take these two, the sort of line between enjoyable tactility and just a bunch of moving pieces around. I don't know. Designers making it work the way they do. I don't know how they do it. They're little wizards. Getting a fox the heck out of there. Dog or cat, man. Pick one. You can't be both. I just won't let it happen. All right. If I could get... I don't know. I don't actually know what I want. Another elk works for me, and I can kind of continue the grassland thing. Yeah, I mean, this seems great. So I'm going to do that, I think. Seems all right. Put elk boy there. And right there, we already have max points, which is the earliest I think I've ever gotten, just a straight line of elk. So I like that. We got to get more on these bear pairs, though. I don't like losing a salmon token. And you could argue that I could have taken that pair and just waited on the elk because there's no rush. And I might do that. I might do that right now. I might have just talked myself into it. Hold on. Everyone slow down. Yeah, I think I am going to do that. Wow. That Dan guy, he's kind of good at games. I should listen to him more. If Ronald wasn't so busy asking all his stupid questions. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, we get rid of a fox, which I am pro getting rid of foxes in Cascadia only. Don't misquote me on that. I'm not on some sort of anti-fox scree in the real world. I just wish that they were worth their points in the game designed by Mr. Flynn. All right. What's up? Well, now I'm in a bit of an interesting spot because I want that bear. Well, the bear's still going to be there, so just don't trip about it, actually. This is something I think I'm going to learn to get better at with this solo mode, is like just being patient, because as long as it's not on the far right, it'll still be there next round. So just like chill, man. It's not that big a deal. What are the chances of that? That's pretty low. All right. So now if I want this bear, I got to take it. Got to take it if I want this bear. And I think I'm going to, because we really need to get this bear pair thing going. I don't love just taking a random hawk with it, though. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to spend this, rather, to take this bear and this elk token, or tile, rather, excuse me. I'm going to put him here, and I'm going to put the bear here, and then we can maybe do some elk stuff this way, because there's an elk token here, and I can, you see what I'm working with. So again, when this happens, when you have this kind of array, everything just slides down, you get rid of that, and you slide them down. Make sure you're giving yourself enough room so you don't get confused about what's what. You would hate to have to record a video twice because you accidentally cheated in the prior one. I mean, that wouldn't happen to me, but to you, that would be pretty embarrassing. So I would hate for that to happen to you and not to me. All right. Yeah, I think I'm just taking this. You know, I like when I'm faced with a set of complex choices. It's like take a pine cone there. But this game is kind of going buttery smooth. Famous last words and all that, but I hope my score will be as good as this game is feeling. I don't really feel like I'm being dealt bad hands. Famous last words. So let's see. Taking another salmon seems good. Taking another bear, but the bear's still going to be there, so just relax. Yeah, I think probably just taking these is fine. I think I'm going to put this. Ooh, this is interesting. I think I'm going to put this here. I don't know what I'm going to put on that tile. Maybe nothing for the rest of the entire game. But it can't be a bear, and it could be an elk. We'll just see. I do lose a salmon there, which isn't the best, but, you know, you got to make sacrifices sometimes in this world. That's the wisdom of the salmon. Okay. I think I'm spending this nature token to grab this and this bear and slot it right here. Put the bear right there, and there's a bear pair. Awfully hot coffee pot. Eminem's been real quiet since that dropped. And yeah, we're just gonna keep on going. You know, I don't know if there's an audience for unhinged, solitary rambling while you play pretty easily digestible tile-laying games, but if there is, buddy, I found my home. I found my people. Okay. Interesting. I wish I had another nature token. But actually, it's not the end of the world that I don't. I'm going to take these. This is actually kind of nice. There's just like a conveyor belt of stuff for me. The game is being insanely generous. And good, because honestly, I could use a win. All right. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no. Ooh, that's actually not great. The conveyor belt is part of the problem because I'm going to lose this now. But that's fine, because there's another one down here. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just chill. Flip two more. I feel like my tile stack is getting progressively like closer and closer to the actual factual stack. And we don't want that. Got to keep them separated. More salmon. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just taking these. I'm going to put this somewhere. I think I'll slot it like here. Continues the forested area, and I could be another future bear pair. Put that there, pair, and get a nature token. Goodbye, Mr. Hawk and Bear. The game goes just right on by. You blink and you miss it. Although maybe not while I'm playing and talking at the same time. In fact, that might feel interminable. And if it does, I'm sorry about that. I think I'm going to spend this nature token to go here and here. Because it'll allow me to continue at least this ocean here and continue the salmon run that a ways. We lose a salmon, which you hate to see. Hate to lose a salmon. But that's just the way of the West. Especially when it's pacifically northward facing. You know what I mean? Probably taking bear? Yeah. Yeah. I'm taking bear. Bear go here. Where tile go, though? Where tile go, indeed. I think maybe like something like this, maybe? Does that make sense? Kinda? I think think I oriented this kind of sillily, although that might be results oriented. Why don't I do this? There we go. That's better. Yeah, just be better at the game, Dan. It's not that hard. It's just a bunch of pieces of cardboard and wood, dude. Chill out. What's the big deal? What are you so worried about? Death? The economy? Climate change? Ooh, what I'd give for a nature toki. I don't have one. So I think a salmon's going to go to the trash. Because I think I'm going to take this bear and that tile. Yeah, because if I take that salmon, I don't really have a place to put it. Although I could start a second run. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm almost done with this one. So starting another one isn't like the worst thing. If I get at least 2, that's 5 points. What do I lose, though? I guess I get... Oh, no. Why did I put this tile here? Why did I think that was a good idea? That was a bad idea. Because now I can't put an elk here. I should have put it up here. Dan. Or, like, here, man. What were you thinking? Ugh, I got cocky. Big L. Top 10 cringe compilations. YouTuber talks too much. You won't believe what happens next. Okay. I'm upset at myself. Just a little bit. You know, it's not that big a deal. It's just a game, but I'll be thinking about it for weeks. I think I am just going to have to kind of swallow my medicine here and do this so that I can place an elk if I'm lucky enough to draw another one. And I think also maybe do that. No, I think this is better because this goes off both ways. And then I'll just place a salmon here. Actually, no, I think it's better if I place it here just theoretically because we know we don't ever want a bear here. Yeah, all right. I lose an elk. I don't feel great about that. But it's all random anyway. I don't know why I'm still pulling from completely separate stacks. I'm just going to put this into a nice little conveyor belt there. All right, so I pretty much know exactly what I'm taking this round. There's an elk token. We love that. But I'm just going to take these because holy heck and delight. Look at that. Bam. And bam. That's a bear pair, and there's a delightful little space in between those bears and their pairs, so it's not a huge deal. I do lose a Salman, which I'm not happy about, but I didn't really have much of a choice there. It is what it is. Okay. 2 more tokens. Whoa. All these elk are coming out. That's too many. That's enough, I think. Now, notably, there is a rule where if you ever have 3 of the same token, you can choose to flush them out and redraw. But I am worried about not drawing any elk at all. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take this token here. Ooh, it's unfortunate because it's going to end our little desert streak here. But if I want to definitely have a place to put this elk that actually scores points, I would need to do something like this. I don't love that, but that's the world I set myself up for. So, you know, it's my own fault, really. Cut to like 20 minutes ago where I said this game's easy going, and I'm sitting here like, you loser, you fool. All right, again, I don't think I'm flushing these elk out for the same reason. I really am incentivized to have them. But which combination am I taking? I guess these. And I'll put the Snow Zone token off screen a little bit. You'll just have to believe me when I tell you that there's a bear there. I don't think there's any universe in which I'm sliding all of this over. I just don't think that's happening. The game's almost over. We'll be okay. All right. Another elk dies, and I do nothing but cries. All right. 2 more tokens. I'm skeptical about being able to hit 4 bear pairs in time. Ooh, it's going to be close. I need there to be a bear here. If there is, I can make it work. Designer style. Let's see. What's our largest snow zone currently? 1, 2, 3 there. 1, 2 there. Yeah, so I guess making this a 4 for the end game is better. That ocean thing ain't going anywhere. Put the bear there. Grab a nature token. Oh man, this is actually tense. High octane. We did it. We did it, boys. Pog champ. I get some bear champs. And in fact, it was the perfect perfects that I was able to grab a bear token, again, which you can't see on camera, but I promise it's there. That I was able to grab a bear token that got me a nature token, so I can do this. And then just put this here-ish, I guess, like that. Again, I don't know. I don't think you can see that on camera, but that's all right. It's the last turn of the game. That gets discarded, and that's the end. That is our little pocket of humanity, or lack thereof, actually. It's our pocket of nature. Something I didn't touch on in this playthrough that I feel is very important, that I did touch on in the hypothetical playthrough that I definitely didn't do where I accidentally cheated. Hopefully I didn't do that again this time. I'm kind of delirious. Is just wondering what exactly the flavor explanation is of, like, there's a tile somewhere in here. Here it is. What's going on with that? Who put the fish there in the desert? Who put the salmon there? And what did he do to deserve it, is what I wonder. I don't know. But it's weird. And I feel like, again, Randy has to answer for his crimes on this one. But anyway, that's been my playthrough of Cascadia. So the only thing left to do before I let you go is to do a little bit of accounting, a little bit of arithmetic, a little bit of maths. All right. So, like an elite gamer god, I did get 1, 2, 3, 4 bear pairs. So that's 27 points. I got 2 full runs or full lines of conga lines of elk. So that's 26 points. Just listen to their glorious call. You ever heard an elk call, by the way? It doesn't sound like how you think it sound. At least not to me. I thought it'd sound like deep and rumbly, like a horse, kind of. Not a horse, but you know what I mean. Big. But instead it sounds like what I sound like when I stub my toe alone and I just get a little too upset about it. It's crazy. Check it out. Okay, elk-related digressions notwithstanding, let's move on to Salman Rushdie. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so that is 16 points. And then, whoops, I didn't do more. I got 1 here, which is 2 points, so it's 18 total. Hawks, not a single one, not interested. Fox, not a single one, not interested. Done with it. Don't care about them. It's over. So let's see. My total score here for wildlife is 27 plus 26 plus 18. And you know what that is. So I don't even need to say it, right? We just know. So I'm going to snap my fingers and the number will be right here. Ready? 71. Obviously, there it is. Which is, if you look on my scores, I don't think you can actually see from where you are. But my first play was 64, then 68, now 71. He's growing. He's learning in his development arc. Okay. Now, starting with the habitats. My biggest snow zone is 1, 2, 3, 4. Not super impressive. My biggest forest zone is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same as my first game. Biggest desert zone, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. Biggest wetlands, 1, 2, 3, 4. And biggest ocean, 1, 2, 3. So none are higher than 7, so I don't get any extra points, which is a little bit of a bummer. But that's all right. So that's 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus 3 is 22, I dare say. Is that math? 10, plus 5, 15, 4, 19, 3, 22. Yep. So no extra nature tokens. So 71 plus 22, some would say it's 93. And that is my score. That is how well we did. According to the rulebook, 93, a score of 93, is excellent. So, you may now refer to me as Dan, the excellent gamer man. I love this game. It and its demented step-sibling Calico are tile-laying classics, I think, at least future classics. Calico does a psycho thing where in its solo mode, it doesn't tell you what a good score is. It's just like, do it. Try your best, dude. You'll know when you get it. And it's not like I need to be told that I've done a good job, but I like to be told that I'm excellent. And Calico didn't do that. So in my play, I think my score was like 70, which the sample score in the rulebook was 72. So I'm at least as good as the made-up person that they did for demonstration purposes, which, as I say it, is not exactly a headline that I want on my newspaper. But what can you do? Probably going to do a playthrough of that at some point. It's a really cool game, really difficult, much less chill than Cascadia, but in a brain-burny way that is quite satisfying when you manage to make some things come together. But yeah, that's been my playthrough of Randy Flynn's Cascadia. I want to thank you so much for watching, for sticking through. If you watched all the way to the end, drop a comment and tell me, I watched all the way to the end. Now I'm commenting like you've asked me to. You're welcome for the engagement. I've also subscribed and dinged the bell for notifications. And just for good measure, I've supported you on Patreon. That's really kind. You didn't have to say all that, but I appreciate it that you did say it. So thank you. Yeah, you could have hung out with anybody on the internet today. And honestly, you chose to hang out with me. And I think that that is amazing because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy rambling in his room at a table that's too big, in a landscape that's too sprawling, and reflections that are too reflection-y, glary. Lighting is hard, is my point. I think that's awesome, and I really appreciate that. If you like what you see, please do consider subscribing, dropping a like, all the stuff that YouTubers tell you to do. I hear that it helps, and so there's only one way to find out. And don't you want to be a little experimental? I don't know. I'll be back next week with another video. Maybe Calico, maybe something else. I don't know. I've been thinking about maybe doing paperback adventures. It's something I picked up a while ago and seems really fun and manageable to capture in the amount of framing that I'm able to do. But I also don't know if I'm terrible at that. So I don't know. We'll see. In any case, that's going to do it for me here at the table. I appreciate you sitting down with me today. I will see you next week. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. And remember that I love you more than Randy Flynn likes just insane scoring criteria. I'll see you next week. Peace.